primitive illustrates that all cultures are the same. We just express ourselves differently. So a movie poster conceived and printed in California, for example, bears great similarities in terms of a movie poster that might be painted in Ghana and West Africa. But the dissimilarities are cultural, and they're endemic to how they express themselves versus us. I mean, that's why I find these things, really interesting.
Yeah.
Not, look, it's as I told you, the bigger the movie, the more saleable it is in the West. I mean, the bigger the Western movie. But the ones I find interesting are all of these African ones. They're just crazy. In the late 1980s and through the 1990s, there developed in Ghana, in West Africa, a cottage industry called the mobile cinema. And it was composed of young entrepreneurs who had three tools. They had a television, a video cassette recorder, and they also had a gas-powered generator. And in the evening, they would go around showing movies in the villages on the television. And to sell tickets and to announce their presence, they commissioned posters to be made. And the posters were painted in oil paint on opened up flour sacks, which was the most readily available canvas. In fact, the only canvas available to the artists. It's a flour sack.
That's amazing.
A Bollywood movie.
Very cool.
In each and every case, these were advertising vehicles created to sell tickets, to whether the Ghanaian currency is safer, whether it was 2 safer, whether it was 10 safer, whatever it may be. So the idea here was that the cinema operator was commissioning a poster to be made to announce that they were there and that tickets were for sale, and the painter was in essence almost like their ad agency, saying, okay, here's what we think will be required.
Right.
And then they would tack these posters up, they would rip them down, they'd go to the next village, they'd rip it down and go to the next village, and many of them show tremendous evidence of fraying and being ripped, and from my perspective, that just shows evidence of use. And it's a very simple poster. And in the sky, the poster depicts a blue sky with the title of the movie up high. And in this poster, there is a goddess, a god, floating, while kneeling down is a priest holding a Bible, pointing it up at her, and there's these rays coming out of the Bible. And you look at this, and it's interesting imagery, but all of a sudden you realize what's going on is that this is depicting a much broader topic, and the broader topic is this conflict between native religion in this area and the advent of Christianity. And so this becomes now a subject of discussion that goes beyond who is the God, who is the priest, what is this movie that I've never heard of,
Right.
to a subject of discussion which is endless about the role of religion in society and how it's manifested itself in this particular corner of the world, and what are the conflicts, and why are people even interested in film form or otherwise in this particular area. It has interest as being very provocative paintings, oil paintings, and these are not small things. They're not little mini posters. You open up some of these flour sacks, they're 3.5 feet by 6 feet. The nature of the images are such that it has begun to appeal to people who are looking for something completely different,
Right.
who are willing to accept it as a true art form, as art. It is a painting. And so I really thought that this was a highly meritorious art form that was also, for all practical purposes, extinct. The idea of the mobile cinema grew up very quick and then it disappeared. And that often happens with cultural material, not just this sort of cultural material, but other kinds. So the posters themselves are evidence of a very brief moment in time where art, ingenuity, and advertising met in the crosshairs of history. And then it was gone.